So here we are, I stopped caring and I found an agent. Actually, the title says it all. I found 3 agents. We have such a bad habit of overthinking and overanalyzing and overing everything that we do. But it really does not need to be that much. Like, we're all humans here. You're not appealing to robots when you're talking to these people. They're people. And that you just need to approach those situations as a personable situation. So I went to a writers conference up in St. Louis several weekends ago, and it was all about publishing. And I right now am trying to get into the traditional publishing market. And so I was like, hey, this looks like a good opportunity, learning experience, whatever. I'll go attend. We'll see what's going to happen. And so I go down there for the weekend. It's pretty much an all-day Saturday event. It's in a motel, which was super nice. And so I just went down there Friday night, spent the night, did the event on Saturday, and had the intentions of spending the night again and going home on Sunday. But so at this event, they were doing tons of classes and seminars and things of that nature, but they were also doing pitching sessions where you could pitch directly to a literary agent or a publishing agent who would represent you. And so I figured, what the heck, I'm here to learn, I'm here to do stuff and figure stuff out, so I am going to go ahead and sign up for some of these pitching sessions, whatever. And so I actually had the first pitching session of the day. The event started at 10 a.m. and they scheduled me at 9:45 to pitch with this woman. So I was like, okay, I am number one. That could be a really good thing. That could be a really bad thing. And it was my first pitch ever, which was obviously something. So I go into there and sit down. So you pay for 10 minutes of their time, and basically you have 10 minutes to convince this person to represent you, or at least to be interested in your work. And so that's what I was going for. I was like, okay, I got 10 minutes. I just got to sell myself, got to make it great. And so I sat down, I gave her my spiel. So when you're pitching to an agent, there is a format that you wish to follow, or that they want you to follow. And so ideally you would start with talking about the agent, show them that you've done your research and you know about them and the work that they represent, and then move on to yourself and your accomplishments as an author so far, and then evolve into the book that you're trying to pitch to them. And so I followed that format, and I got through it, and we were 4 minutes into this pitch session, and the woman already asked me for the first 50 pages of my book. And that's huge. I was losing my mind. Obviously, I was calm and collected. I was very cool when I was standing there talking to her. But in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually whoa, this is a big deal. And so at that point, 4 minutes in, she's asked for my first 50 pages. She's interested. Cool. I've done my job. I'm good. And so she's like, okay, well, you paid for 10 minutes of my time. What else would you like to talk about? And I was like, that's a good point. I have paid for this time. So I got 6 minutes, and I just straight up asked her. I was like, that was my first pitch ever. How did I do? And she was like, wasn't that bad. It was good. You have an interesting story concept. But her biggest thing was, she said, usually when you are pitching to an agent, you want to name your characters, tell the agent what is in their way, and why they can't have it. And so I know from my own pitch that I had gotten around to telling her what the characters want and what's in their way, but I do not believe that I named the characters so specifically. So I put that away in the noggin, and I was like, okay, I'll remember that. Because I had a second pitch in 2 hours that I had to prepare for. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to do the second pitch, and we'll see how that goes. And so 2 hours goes by, do some wonderful seminars and all that classes, and it was good information. I'm just summarizing because that's not the point of this video. So I sit down for my second pitch, and I pretty much do verbatim what the first lady told me to do. Me and this lady sitting down, I do the whole little thing I did before. I describe the characters, what they want, what are their names, what's in their way, all that good stuff. And this lady was a lot more rigid and and to the book. And I said earlier, these people are people. They are people. We all understand that. We get that. But there are people who follow the structure a little more, and there's people who didn't. The first lady was a lot less structured, which is cool. And the second lady who was very structured, which is cool in her own right. Not necessarily for me, but still cool. So at any rate, she was asking a lot of questions, a lot of really good questions. And we got 8 minutes into that one before she finally did ask for the first 50 pages of my book as well. And so once again, I'm going nutso in my mind, oh, And but like I have to, be cool while I'm standing here talking to her, so I'm going to be the coolest I can be. And so 8 minutes in, she asked for my pages. That's two agents then. Both the pitches I got, they both asked for pages, and that's huge, and that's awesome. Beyond awesome. So I'm super excited about that. And realistically, like, I did minimal preparation beforehand. Like I didn't not prepare, obviously. Like I prepared. I knew how to pitch a thing. But to the same end, like, this is your book. This is something that you have written, and no one knows it inside and out better than you do. So no one can sell it better than you do. You don't have to overthink this. You don't have to make it bigger than it needs to be. Just follow your bullet points, make the stuff right, and tell them what they want to hear so that they can get interested and they want to see and they want to hear what your book's got to offer. And that's just really what it comes down to, being real with these people. And I think that was a huge connection that I had made when I was in there doing these pitches. And so the conference closes up. I wind up going home that night instead of spending another night, because, like, oh crap, I now have two agents who want to see the first 50 pages of my book, and I've already had it edited twice and read it a quadrillion times, but I still want to read it again and make sure it's absolutely perfect before any more eyes see it. So I ran home, I went through the first 50 pages and read the mess out of them, stayed up till like 3 a.m., got them all buttoned up and ready to go, and sent them out to those people so that they could see them, and hopefully got some really exciting stuff coming. But that was like well over a month ago, so it's been a minute, and I still haven't heard anything back. And that's another important takeaway from this, is to have patience. So when I was there talking to them, the first woman that I spoke with said that she had 742 total submissions. Now, when she asked specifically for my work, she had me use a different submission process that goes specifically to her, or to a different process. And she said there was only like maybe 43 submissions in there. But like 50 pages, 43 different 50-page submissions, that's still a lot to get through. The second lady, she said she had like 900 some odd submissions, and she, just like the first one, had me send it directly to her through a different avenue. She didn't tell me how many was in that avenue, but I'm willing to bet it's quite a bit. So these people are very busy. They've got a lot going on. We're busy. We understand that. So patience is really a huge takeaway here. When you get to this step, you've just got to be patient with them. Be patient with yourself, be patient with them, and keep working. Like, start another book. There's no reason why you can't be writing another book while you're trying to publish another one, you know? And so that's the biggest takeaways, and really kind of what I wanted to sit down and talk about, my experiences with agents so far. Still have not heard back from them, haven't been accepted or rejected, just kind of floating around in limbo. But that's all right. That's progress, and we're making progress, and that's what everything's about. You make forward progress a little bit at a time until you make it to your big final goal. And so that is just my takeaway here. I know a lot of people get super nervous when talking about agents or talking to agents, and something that a really good takeaway that I got from that whole conference, one of the published authors there that was talking said that the agents need a good author just as badly as an author needs a good agent. It's a mutually beneficial interaction, and not very many people like acknowledge that, especially not on the author side. Like, a lot of authors are just like, oh, I gotta get an agent, and oh, I hope they're great, and oh, I hope they love me, and I'm just gonna do whatever it takes. No. Like, you guys have really got to work together. It's more of a relationship and less of an ownership. So I keep feeling like I'm winding down and about done with this video, only to continue to splurge information on you. But I think that's it. That's the takeaway here, is when you're going into those pitch sessions, make sure that you're naming characters, what they want, what's getting in their way, know your formatting, tell the agent that you have done your research, tell them that you know the kind of stuff that they've represented, tell them your accomplishments as an author so far, move into your book, hit your fine points, and be yourself. Thank you and goodbye.